New York City FC and the Jackie Robinson Foundation announced on Tuesday a multi-year partnership to take action in support of Black Lives Matter initiatives focused in and around the five boroughs. It's headquartered in New York City, the Jackie Robinson Foundation, established in 1973 by Rachel Robinson, 98-year-old Rachel Robinson, to perpetuate the legacy of her husband, Jackie Robinson, addressing the persistent and unacceptable achievement gap in higher education. So one of those instrumental in consummating this partnership between NYCFC and JRF, president of the New York City Football Club, Brad Sims, who joins us now. Brad, welcome. How are you?
Glenn, great to see you. Yep, I'm doing great.
Well, this is, you've been introducing club initiatives along the way since Black Lives Matter. Now you've got this partnership with JRF. So it's the fact that it's within the five boroughs, and Jackie Robinson meant so much to the city. This is a pretty amazing partnership.
Yeah, it's we couldn't ask for better partners. How this is played out. I think that when we go back to late June and late June, early July, and we released our club statement, our club commitments around Black Lives Matter. I think that was a great first step, but it was words, and they needed, we knew that they needed to be backed up with action. And so from that point on, we've had a kind of an internal working group that has been in place since early June that helped us get to that place and helped us, really crystallize what our commitments were going to be. But from that point on, it was like now the work really starts, and we have to figure out how do we back these words up with action. And so one of the things that we thought was going to be the best way to start would be to try and take a partner in the space, someone who was an expert and that could help us navigate all the the commitments we made, and someone who would be a partner with us to not just cover off or not just check boxes, but actually really to make help us make meaningful change that we intend to make. And so they're the perfect partner for us in this space. They can help us out and with so many of these different commitments that we're going to make. We're really excited. One of the key pieces of the relationship is that NYCFC will be funding a Jackie Robinson Scholar, which is a full 4-year college scholarship for an underprivileged and deserving high school senior. For us, the key piece of that, and when we talked to them early on, we said, hey, we want to be authentic to New York City. We need to make sure that this is a student from the five boroughs that we're going to be sponsoring. And they said, absolutely, we'll be involved in that process of working with the student, working with the interview process, going through from beginning to end, and being involved with selecting the scholar from the five boroughs. And then, I mean, it's a life-changing situation for these scholars to be able to have a full scholarship to a 4-year university. So we're really proud to be a part of that with the Jackie Robinson Foundation. But there's so much more that's going to come from this partnership. It's going to be a long-lasting partnership, and we're only getting started.
Wow, I wasn't aware that this is a full 4-year scholarship, which, is life-changing for. And how, what is the process for selecting the individual?
So there's a rigorous process where my understanding, 50,000 plus kind of applicants over the course of each year. It's a very prestigious program with Fortune 100 companies that are major partners with the Jackie Robinson Foundation that help that help fund these scholarships for these deserving individuals. And so the foundation is going to take care of the vast majority of the vetting. That's their expertise. That's what they've been doing for years. But when it gets kind of closer to the interview process, I think that there's a vetting and gets down to an interview process. We'll be involved, and again, they're going to kind of be able to take applicants that are from the five boroughs of New York and have us very involved in the selection process there. So we're excited about that. And then as you take it out further, they do a number of events in New York every year where the scholars come in, and we'll have an opportunity to participate in those events, get to know the scholars, both the ones that are from this local area and really talented people all around the country. And ultimately, what we hope is to be helpful in a job placement, with these scholars. Extremely talented people. Working in the sports industry might be something that some of them may have interest in, and for us to look at whether it's internship programs or full-time job placements coming out of college. That's another key area that as we want to continue to diversify our front office and that's a great group of people that we'll have access to.
Brad, can you talk a little bit about, and we're with Brad Sims, President, New York City FC, talking about a partnership with the Jackie Robinson Foundation. Marty Edelman, Vice Chairman of NYCFC. So he's been involved with this for many years. He's a founding board member of the JR Foundation. So discuss a little bit about how that all worked out, and this must be, we know how important this must be to him.
Yeah, I mean, it also makes it so that there's a very authentic tie between our organizations. And Marty is, he's the vice chairman of the club here at NYCFC. He's, I work very closely with him. He's, and he's just done. This is part of his life's work. I think the civil rights movement, and he was kind of a personal lawyer for Jackie Robinson for many years, and worked closely with Rachel Robinson and founding this this foundation. It's something that has been core to who he is, and a lot of, obviously, those values carry over into our organization. And at the time, we really wanted to make these commitments around Black Lives Matter, and even taking a step further, just in terms of general broader diversity and inclusion measures within the organization. Taking a partner in the space was something that made a lot of sense. We had that relationship, though we just hadn't we hadn't done anything close to the level of engagement that we're entering into with the Jackie Robinson Foundation now. But there was that authentic link with our organization and their organization, and we just started conversations, and we said these are the things we want to try and achieve, and that we want to get better at, and we want to better ourselves. We want to educate our team members. We want to educate our partners. We want to do more and do better in the community. How can we work together on this? And so working with an organization that just has this legacy of impactful work, both locally in New York and nationally, was again a no-brainer for us. And then on the flip side, we feel like we have a platform here locally in New York that we can also help amplify the storytelling around all the great work that they've been doing for many years, and they continue to do going forward. And so we think it's going to be a really great two-way partnership.
I think when we talked about this earlier, the Black Lives Matter, and then the formation of the Black Players Coalition within Major League Soccer, and I think together we admitted a bit, and you were talking about how when you announced it, you had the three parts: the access and education, engage and support, celebrate and amplify. I guess there was just this realization that, wow, we really hadn't been doing as much as a white man or in a white community, and now it's showing itself, and then the key will be then sustaining it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been an eye-opening, last few months. I think, for myself, I could speak on, for myself, but also I think for so many in our organization that, we think that, all these things have been important to us in the past, and they're things that we thought that we were doing a relatively good job at, until you really kind of dig in deeper, and you really focus on it, and you say, actually, we can be doing a lot more. We can be much better in this space. We have a responsibility to utilize our platform to help others. And so we're all those areas. I think that we want to the Jackie Robinson Foundation is going to be able to help us in those areas. And, and again, just the beginning, for us, but we're happy to really get to this first step in taking some action and behind our commitments and moving this thing forward and positively impacting many people's lives in this community.
Brad, can you talk about how the first team players or coaches might be involved, or maybe the academy players? What's the athletes' participation in this within the club?
Yeah, so good question. I think, as you mentioned, with the Black Players Coalition, and specifically, Sean Johnson, our goalkeeper, has taken a prominent leadership role in that group, which we're very proud of. That he's been a leader for them as they've kind of formalized in some of the initiatives that they started in Orlando, and will continue to have going forward. So Sean has been someone that we've engaged, as have a number of the other players, and really kind of the feedback from them, which has been great feedback, has been we are excited to be involved. We want to be involved in what the club's doing, but we also want to be involved on the front end. We want to be involved, in the kind of the formulation of ideas and not just being told, hey, we're going to do this, FYI, or hey, we made this decision. Would you like to help out? Like they actually want to play, a real role together, hand in hand, with the club, and which is fantastic. And so the engagement is going to continue over time, and have them involved in really the kind of the decision making process of a lot of these action items that are coming out of the initial commitments.
Yeah, and we talked about Marty Edelman, and you made reference to his relationship with the Robinsons. Rachel Robinson is 98 years old and
amazing,
still
right?
active. And so what?
Very active.
Yeah, tell us about her role in all this. I mean, it's been, gosh, a majority of my life I can remember all this.
Yeah, I know, right? We're hoping to have her involved in something in the near future with the organization that we're working on. She's in high demand. She's got to be one of the highest demand 98-year-olds that are around, right? But I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet in person, but I hope to in the near future, and I think if we're able to kind of be able to we'd like to do a virtual. We're looking at trying to see if we can do a virtual event, with her at some point in time. I know that from what I understand, she's very involved in the kind of the JRF Scholar, program, and as I mentioned, there's a couple times during the year where the scholars come into New York, and there's and the partners, the donors will kind of get together, and so we're hoping that there's going to be some opportunities for us to be able to work with her.
I don't know.
Directly. What an amazing person,
Yeah. Well, and the time is not right, but I guess we're not certain if she's ever seen a soccer match, or what kind of soccer fan she is. So getting her into the stadium to see a game will be fun someday.
Yeah, someone asked me about, hey, Jackie Robinson, he's best known for obviously being a baseball player, and then how's that work with soccer? But, Jackie Robinson was one of, the all-time great athletes across many sports, and played, numerous sports collegiately, and then, had an affinity for all kinds of sports. And so this is not about, a baseball or soccer. It's really about education, first and foremost. But for us, it's the best organization, and just to be affiliated with someone of the stature of Jackie Robinson, I think is something that we're really proud of.
Brad Sims, President, New York City FC, and the partnership with the Jackie Robinson Foundation. If I may just ask a couple of
Sure.
questions, when we talk stadium, I do, I think a little levity can help, right? I mean,
okay, yeah.
So when
Sure.
when New York
I don't
City,
usually get that,
okay, well, when New York City plays
usually more anger.
Well, let's see what happens. You may be angry with this
All
question
right.
and statement. So here we
Okay.
go. So
We can roles reversed. Okay.
the so you play Red Bulls on New York Red Bulls on Thursday night at the restart of the MLS season, Phase 1.
Yep.
It'll be at Red Bull Arena. It's their home match, but it'll be your home also for your home matches, 3 out of the first 6.
Yep.
But when you play them on Thursday night, that'll be your 3rd match at Red Bull Arena. It'll only be their 2nd. So you've actually played
There
more
you go.
games.
That's right. That's right.
So
yeah, no, I think well that's because one of us was in the Champions League, and so it's
okay.
but I think for us what you'll see, Glenn, especially you won't see it on Thursday at that first match because it's a Red Bull home game, but what you'll see the following Monday with our home game against Columbus is on broadcast when you and our rest of our fans are watching the game well, you're going to be calling the game, but in terms of when people are watching on broadcast, they're not going to see Red Bull Arena as they know it, or as they even saw it back in February and March when we were playing Champions League games there. It's going to be a completely different experience, and that's something that we're really excited to see. And I think people are going to forget very quickly where the match is played. They're gonna, you're gonna tune in and be like, "Where is this?" Because we have essentially taken the entire lower bowl and turned it into a virtual background, which will be branded fully NYCFC branding. So it's going to be club branding, our partners, our logos, our messaging. Throughout everything that you see on broadcast. Behind both the goals, we have the third rail that is provided essential, what effectively is a tifo that will be static behind one goal with their messaging that our players will be seeing and be motivated by. Behind the other goal is also going to be static, tarp signage, branding, team branding. So there's not going to be any red. We're painting it all blue. It's going to be, you're going to see a lot of city blue, a lot of navy blue. You're not going to see any red. You're not going to see any, Red Bull logos. We have a lot of great integrations with retaining walls, signage for our fans. And in fact, every single one of our city members' names are integrated into the fan experience. So I just want to tease that out. From that standpoint. But it's a completely different experience from what people saw in February and in March. So we're excited about it. As excited as we can be. I think that first the biggest priority has been on health and safety, and for us, our first choice is obviously in a non-pandemic world. Our first choice is to play our home games, obviously at Yankee Stadium, and then if not at Yankee Stadium, within the 5 boroughs. But with where the world is now, and from a health and safety and precautionary standpoint, and all the strict protocols that MLS has put in place, and they've done a heck of a job both in Orlando, and then taking the best practices from Orlando and moving them to the in-market situation. It really makes the most sense for us, to be there, and from a venue standpoint. And what we want to do is take that and really give it a home, make it a home feel, and not make it like a road game. And we think that the way we're set up, both for our fans on broadcast and for our players on the pitch, it's gonna have a much different feel than any other time that we played there.
No, and after hearing about the protocols, I'm comfortable as well. Matt Lawrence and I were going to have plexiglass in between us in the radio booth, and we have a new path, to get up to the roof of Red Bull Arena where we call the games. So, I think all the precautions are being taken. And as I've teased to you before, I am a Jersey boy. 20-minute drive down the New Jersey Turnpike. So I'm not that upset that it's at Red Bull Arena, but no one agrees with me.
No, I know. And you know what? I think it's, and it's a different game without fans too. I think, obviously we're going to miss our fans and what our fans bring, to the match environment at Yankee Stadium or anywhere we play for that matter. It's going to be a huge loss. But, our fans are going to support by watching us, on TV. And what they're going to see is they're not going to see Red Bull Arena. They're going to see a new stadium that they've never seen before, that is painted blue, that's going to look great, and it's going to feel, it's going to feel like a home game from there. So hopefully everyone's going to have a little different feeling about the fact that we're playing there after seeing us on Monday than they may feel right now.
One final thing about the soccer stadium in the 5 boroughs, the much discussed. I'm curious as to what you can tell us as to where that's at the moment, and did the pandemic have any ill effects on the progress of that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would call it ill effects. I think that we're still every bit as optimistic as we've ever been. The reality is that we have partners in this project, and not the least of which are the city and the state, and rightfully so, the focus of the city and the state from early March and still ongoing is on the health and safety of New Yorkers. I would say that for the vast majority of the last 5 months, it's been 100% of the focus. And I think that, maybe a little bit recently, it's now there's also, a bit of a focus on how do we get, the economy going again? How do we get things back moving forward? And, so for us, I think we're optimistic and hopeful that this concept idea of the New York comeback story from COVID-19 is going to be how do we jumpstart the economy? How do we get things going again in a positive direction? And we believe that major infrastructure projects, and especially ones that are privately financed, I think that is a great way to help with that comeback story. And so that's we're optimistic about that. Internally, we've been spending a ton of time, from myself, every single day, of the pandemic, it has been, there's work, there's calls, there's things that have happened on the project to move the project forward. So again, it's tough to say from a timing standpoint if things have been pushed back at all or not. But I think everybody.
I was wondering if you might have a timetable it's a comeback story. So when are we going to focus?
Yeah, I would just say everyone's been focused where they should have been focused. I think that our partners have been focus where it's appropriate to be focused. And for us, it's, as everyone knows, it's a complicated, complicated situation, complicated process to get to where we're going. But ultimately, we all believe that the wait will be worth it, and everyone will have a new home that we'll all be extremely proud of.
Well, Brad, sincere congratulations on this vital partnership with the Jackie Robinson Foundation, and continuing your support of Black Lives Matter within the club and the community. So good luck with that as it continues to progress, and good luck on Thursday in Hudson River Derby.
Thanks. Yeah, no, we're like I said, couldn't be more excited. Big game on Thursday, so I know all of our fans will be supporting us hard, and the players are ready. And we had a bit of a slow start this year, but I think we were pleased with how we came back in Orlando. And by the way, we had a bit of a slow start last year, and we ended up finishing the year top in the East. So we're still every bit as confident in our club to be one of the favorites when it's all said and done here.
All right, Brad. Good luck, and
all right.
I'll see you when I'm allowed to. I don't know if that's soon or not, but
me either. But hopefully it's sooner than later.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.